Hi, and welcome back to Skrach. Today we're going to make a chocolate bundt cake. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and share this recipe. For the cake, we'll need 1 cup of melted butter, a cup of whole milk, a 1/3 cup of cocoa powder, a teaspoon of salt, 2 cups of flour, 1 3/4 cups of sugar, 1 1/2 teaspoons baking soda, 2 eggs, a 1/2 cup of sour cream, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. For the chocolate glaze, we'll need 1 cup of chocolate chips, 2 tablespoons of corn syrup, 3/4 cups of heavy cream, and 2 tablespoons of sugar. First, we'll preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll combine our 1 cup of butter and 1 cup of whole milk and melt it in the microwave for 1.5 to 2 minutes. While we're waiting on our milk to warm up and the butter to melt, we'll go ahead and mix our dry ingredients. We'll add our 2 cups of flour, our 1 3/4 cups of sugar, our 1/3 cup of cocoa powder, our teaspoon of salt, and our 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. We'll whisk these ingredients together until they're combined. After we've whisked our dry ingredients together, our melted butter and milk should be done in the microwave, and we'll just whisk it to combine it well. If your butter's not yet completely melted, this whisking process should finish melting it. Once combined, we'll add half of our butter and milk mixture to our dry ingredients and begin to whisk those in. Once the ingredients have started to combine, we'll add our remaining mixture and finish whisking. Once a basic batter has formed, we'll add in our eggs one at a time and combine them with the batter. Then we'll whisk in our teaspoon of vanilla extract and finally our 1/2 cup of sour cream. After combining our batter, we'll grease and flour a 10 to 12 inch Bundt pan. I like using a cooking spray that contains flour. Once greased, we'll add in our cake batter, making sure to scrape down the sides of our bowl. To remove any air bubbles, we'll tamp down our pan. Once we've transferred our batter to our Bundt pan, we'll place it into our oven on the middle rack at 350 degrees for 40 to 45 minutes. It's been 40 minutes and we're going to check on our bundt cake. We're just going to pull it out and do a basic toothpick test, making sure it comes out clean in the deepest part of the cake. It did, so our bundt cake is done. We're going to remove it from the oven and let it cool in the pan for 15 minutes. It's been 15 minutes and our cake is now ready to invert. You will notice on this bundt cake and most bundt cakes that the inner ring has kind of domed up a little bit. If you don't like this, you can either wait on the cake to cool and cut it flat, or while it's still warm, you can push it down by placing a towel over the cake and pressing firmly if this bothers you. It personally doesn't bother me, so I'm going to leave it as is. I'll go ahead and take the cake with a wire rack over a cookie sheet, invert the cookie sheet, and then flip the bundt cake onto it before removing it from the pan. We'll allow this to cool completely before adding our chocolate glaze. This should take about 2 to 3 hours. It's been 2 hours and our bundt cake is now cool, so we're going to add our 1 cup of chocolate chips and 2 tablespoons of corn syrup to a heat-safe bowl. Then we'll put a small saucepan on our stove and set the stovetop to medium-high heat. We'll pour in our 3/4 cups of heavy cream, add our 2 tablespoons of sugar, and gently whisk this until it's hot, the sugar is dissolved, and our cream begins to let off some steam. It's been about 8 minutes, and our cream and sugar mixture is now ready to pour over our chocolate chips and corn syrup, and we'll whisk this together until the chocolate is completely melted and well combined. When the glaze is ready to pour, it'll be dark brown and have kind of a satin sheen. Once our chocolate glaze is finished, we're ready to glaze our chocolate bundt cake. We'll generously ladle our chocolate glaze over the top of our bundt cake while it's still on the wire rack over the cookie sheet and allow it to drizzle down the sides and let the cookie sheet collect any excess. We'll then allow this to cool for at least an hour before transferring to a cake dish. It's been an hour and our chocolate glaze is now cool. We're going to carefully transfer this to a cake dish. And remember, if you like the content, please subscribe.